This episode of Hak5 is brought to you by Beck's Beer, GoDaddy.com, Netflix.com, and Darren's Kitchen. It's like the fail bus for cooking.
What?
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Hak5. I'm Matt Lestock.
And I'm Shannon Morse.
For those of you who haven't seen Hak5 before, we're a show focused on everything from systems administration to gaming to mods, anything that we could possibly throw under the IT umbrella, which is what we like to call Technolust.
And this week we have a whole bunch of new stuff for you. I'm going to be talking about Synergy, which is this Half-Life 2 mod that makes it multiplayer. Matt, what are you talking about?
I've got Boxy, which is a front end for the XMBC system. It runs on Linux and Mac, and we're going to get into that and show you how awesome you can harness the social power of media.
Very cool. What about you, Chris?
I'm going to be starting a three-part series on packet sniffing, going over starting from the fundamentals, tools, and finally wrapping up with some advanced techniques. And Darren, what are you talking about today?
I'm taking a look at one of our community member creations, and that is a port of Kron4 Windows. So anyway, let's go ahead and kick it off. Matt, let's see what's going on with Boxy.
So you guys are probably really aware of the Xbox Media Center. It's huge right now, it's all the rage, and you can use it on your Windows, Mac, Linux, and he's going to show us this new front end called Boxy for the Xbox Media Center.
Yeah, that's right, Shannon. Boxy is currently in an alpha stage. You can't go ahead and you can't download it yet, but we are working with the Boxy team to try and get invite codes for a select number of viewers.
Cool.
So watch the forums for that info. Behind us here, you could actually see we've actually got something playing. Now, Boxy is social media or social networking with media.
Oh, okay.
So you're a big social media person.
Yes, I love social networking. I'm crazy about it.
So what we can do with Boxy is we can actually apply the social networking model to our own media.
So we can share our media. We can share like movies and music and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Cool. Will you show me how this works?
Sure. So right now we're playing a song via Last.fm. Not our song. It's a song that one of our friends actually listened to. It's Do You Wanna by the Cooks. Okay?
Oh, cool.
So what we can do is we can go ahead and back out and escape. And here you see the main page of Boxy. What Boxy is, like I said, is a front end for the Xbox Media Center. Up here we have our friends' activities. So everything that they are watching, listening to, or recommending is actually listed in this first page right here.
Okay. So this list right here, this is all the movies and music, all the most recent stuff.
Right.
Cool.
That Avner, who is one of our most frequent people on Boxy, what he's watched and what he's listened to.
Can you actually watch the movies that Avner's watching?
You can't watch them, but most of the movies
Darn.
you can actually watch trailers for the movies, and you can you can actually watch the trailer and see if you like it, and you can go ahead and download it. Other than that, what you can also do is you can go into a movie, and we can go into this movie that Avner watched, and it's apparently lifted. Released in 2006, gives you all kind of music information about the movie, and we can go ahead and we can rate and recommend this to our other friends if we've watched it.
Oh, cool.
So if we rate it, we say we love it, great, rating sent. Now that's going to apply to all future recommendations that Boxy will actually send to us. Say, hey, you like this? Well,
very nice.
You might like this. The other great thing about Boxy is because it's internet connected and it's internet focused, what we can do is we can actually watch and listen to internet media. So
it's kind of like a streaming radio for the music.
Streaming radio and streaming video, just like Revision 3 is, and actually Revision 3 is a preset inside of Boxy.
That's
so
awesome.
We can actually go ahead and take a look at that now. Video, internet videos, and you can also do, just like Xbox Media Center,
wow.
you can do your media, but we're going to go ahead and focus on the internet media side of things.
Here, pull up revision 3.
So what we can do is we can go ahead and we can go to revision 3 and say we're going to give, oh geez, I don't know, let's go ahead and watch the latest episode of Dignation, our buddies Kevin and Alex.
Very cool.
So here they're at the brewery, and we're actually going to go ahead and play the video that is on the revision 3 stream. It's going to go ahead and cache it and buffer and
oh, wow.
play.
It doesn't take long to pull it up.
No, it does not. So here we've got the latest episode of Dignation playing behind us.
Cool.
And Boxy is, like I said before, it's an alpha. It's social media, social networking with your media. It's got a great front end and great, recommendation items for you and your friends. So
where can I go to get more information and download it myself?
People can go to Boxee, boxee.tv. The link should be right here. As I mentioned before, alpha, can't download it yet, but you can sign up for the alpha.
Cool.
And like I said, we're going to try and get some invite codes for a very select few people, so you can go to the Revision 3 forums or the Hak5 forums and look for that.
Great, thanks, Matt.
No
I'm
problem.
definitely going to check that out once it's out of alpha. And I think, sorry.
But first it's time for this week's trivia. Now this week's trivia question is, in an optimal PPOE frame, how many bytes do the PPOE headers add to the total frame size, and what RFC defines that? And of course you can submit your answer to the Hak5 or Revision 3 forums to start a thread called Episode 406 Trivia. Be the first to answer, we'll PM you and hook you up with a whole bunch of cool Hak5 goodies. Also, gotta remind you that this week's trivia is sponsored by Beck's. It's the #1 German beer export. They're different by choice, and they invite you to check out the Beck's universe of choice. That's right. Got a relationship issue, a career dilemma? Who needs professional advice when you've got insightful perspective of local Beck's drinkers? At becksbeer.com, you'll find the universe of choice, a live polling engine that lets you submit an issue or a life dilemma to the community of Beck's drinkers for real-time voting. Log on to becksbeer.com for full details, and you'll leave a more enlightened person. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, it's Chris Gerling with Packet Sniffing. So as we may know, our internet communication is made up of packets, which are really just the puzzle pieces of our network traffic. And here to explain to us how that all works and packet sniffing, Chris Gerling, securebit.com, right? That's the podcast.
ChrisGerling.com and a bunch of other,
yeah,
sites,
but the podcast for the security
podcast,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we
sniffing.
just talked about security and leading into this. So.
Cool. Well, this is some of the stuff you talk about. So let's get a
Exactly.
fundamental overview of what packet sniffing is and why would we want to do it.
All right, packet sniffing is essentially eavesdropping, to put it in layman's terms, I guess, to see what's going on a network. You see the packets that are coming across, and you want to see what's going on, what information is being sent.
Very low level.
Mm-hmm. Very low level.
Now, why would we want to do this? Give me the white hat, give me the black hat.
The white hat would basically be like debugging, testing. You could do like intrusion detection monitoring. You want to actually, from a defensive standpoint, what's going on and how do I, see what's going on and defend against it. From the black hat, gray hat standpoint, you're more concerned with breaking things, man in the middle type attacks,
Sure. So like if, for example, I'm doing a man in the middle and I'm between you and the internet gateway, I can watch across the wire and say, like, I'm just interested in your AOL Instant Messenger traffic or your HTTP traffic for information gathering. I would want to do some packet sniffing so that I could actually see, what's going through the wire.
Exactly.
And then on the white hat, obviously, if I'm a software developer or a network administrator, I'm trying to tweak my network, see what's going on, increase performance. Great tool for saying, what's actually going on
what's
here?
going on here?
Yeah. Okay. So what are we going to need to know? What are these terms and these tools that we're going to need to know?
All right. Well, first we need some knowledge. So we need to know about the OSI model.
Okay.
And the OSI model it's just 7 layers. They grid up to explain in a better way how how information travels up a network.
Okay, so this is everything in between the copper on the ground and your monitor. So let's start with the high level and break it down.
Okay, we'll start at the monitor. What we did here is I'll just pull up I have the Hak5 site up.
Great.
All right, so this is layer 7, basically. Kind of layers 5, 6, and 7. This is what you see on your monitor. This is what actually, after the pack has been built and everything gets put together.
So this is just what the normal users are
what the
used
end
to
product
interfacing
is.
with. It's the applications, it's your sessions, and so that's not as interesting for the packet sniffing. So what about the 4 and below?
Okay, 4 and below.
Or 3 and 4.
And we'll we're going to touch on the tools in a minute,
Sure.
but before and below basically is your layer 4 has to do with the transport. You know, what protocol am I using? TCP or UDP? Am I on? If I'm on YouTube, I'm going to be UDP. You know, if I'm on just going to Google, it's going to be, you know, like TCP. You know, your connection oriented. Layer 3 is where your actual packet resides. That's the network layer. That's where you get into, you know, how the packet's put together, the source, you know, address, destination address, you know, a lot of information telling you, okay, what's going on here.
The actual structure of these little bits that are going to go across the wire and then get reassembled on the other end to hopefully be what we think it's going to be.
Hopefully.
Yes.
And then layer 2 and 1, you know, you descend down in the physical layer, you get MAC addresses, and, you know, you're on the wire or the wireless, and that's, you know,
And then, you know, the physical layer, I mean, we're talking about like microwaves, whether it's Ethernet cables, whether it's an undersea
Fiber
cable,
optics.
satellite. Okay.
Yep.
Stuff that the internet probably doesn't even realize.
Definitely.
You know, is in a conceptual term, like in a snow crash term, is even there.
Yep.
So, what about these tools? What are we going to be using here?
Some of the tools that you can use are Wireshark, TCP Dump. There's a few other ones like HPing2. We're just going to talk about Wireshark right now.
Later on.
Yeah, in
Sweet.
a couple minutes here.
And now these tools allow us to do something interesting with our network card here, and that is to put it in monitor mode or promiscuous mode. So you want to explain to me what these terms mean?
Definitely. With monitor mode, that's kind of like just looking at the traffic. Anybody can do that. You don't have to have administrator privileges or anything. You can just monitor what's happening between your machine and the network. Promiscuous mode is where things get interesting. That's where you are able to actually modify traffic, you know, with the protocol analyzer and insert things. So when you're doing your man on the middle attack, and you change your sequence number, you know, that's when you can actually start to, you know, do attacks.
So monitor mode is really just listening.
You're just listening.
And then the promiscuous mode, great example would be something like AirPwn or AirOwn,
Exactly.
where I'm actually listening for your HTTP traffic over the wireless, and then I decide that instead of getting the Google banner image, we'd rather give you a picture of Goatsy. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, so all of this has to do with, like, especially with the promiscuous, modifying these packets. You actually have a packet here, and I want to get a high-level overview of what is all entails in a packet, so that next time when we look at this, we can actually use the tool more properly and understand it a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned, but this is going to be part of a 3, possibly 4-part series, depending on how advanced we want to go.
Yeah. So let's get the fundamentals. Then next time
we're going to actually dissect
let's
this.
dissect the packet a lot more and start using the tool, and then we can do some advanced techniques and filtering.
So right here, I have this is just we went to Hak5 and just captured the HTTP, you know, traffic, and you can
Using
see down
Wireshark.
here. In fact, let me just zoom in really quick. I don't really want to move it too much, but we'll just move it a little bit. All right, and you can see that we're doing a GET request for you know, I guess you're linking revision 3's image.
Well, you know, come on, save some bandwidth. Link to the revision 3 image hosting.
So,
why not? But yeah, okay.
And you know, we're just grabbing a JPEG and doing some other things. So I'm going to zoom back out.
So that's one of the, you know, hundreds of packets that are involved in actually getting the Hak5.org website. So what's the top level here?
Okay, the top level here is pretty much your layer 1. This is your frame. We're going to open that up, and it's just you know, it tells you how big the frame length is and all that stuff. This is information that we're not too concerned with right now.
But it lets us know, like, at what time it was sent.
What time the packet came in, and you know what number the frame is and where it's
So framing is really important for the reassemble process.
Framing is very important. Framing and sequence numbers.
Because typically, I don't just say, give me everything at Hak5, and it just gives me a giant, there's no such thing as a giant packet of Hak5. I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah, but there's limitations in how big packets can be and how much data there is, so we split them up into multiple chunks, and that's where the framing gets involved. Okay,
so now we're going to close that.
All right.
The second one is just layer 2, and that's where you have your MAC addresses. Not too interesting, but this tells you, this is basically saying, okay, from the switch to me. So the switch says,
So your
okay,
network
that's
interface
mine.
is great.
So here we have layer 3.
Sure.
This is where you say
Our source IP
your
address.
your IPv4, your header length. This is where things get, you know, pretty interesting, where you can actually use the fragmentation and things like that. We're definitely going to get into that more. But
okay.
then you have your transmission control protocol. This is your.
That's actually the TCP. So the first one, the one we just looked at, is IP. Here's the TCP and TCP/IP.
Yep. And here's, you can see your flags that are set.
Okay.
Your push and your ACK, you know, and different things. We're going to definitely get into
Great.
that more.
So we need to know what. So we'll get into that next time. What those flags mean.
Yep.
And then finally, the actual payload of all this. So we've got all of that header stuff just to let you know what I'm telling you. So before I can tell you anything, I got to tell you what I'm telling you and telling you what order it's going to come in.
Because otherwise, it might come in and be corrupted. That's what happens when you download files and they're corrupted.
Okay.
Packets came in out of order a lot of times.
So finally, we have the payload, and we actually see that it's sending us there's our HTTP GET, and we can tell our user agent is Mozilla, and our host is Bitgravity. Thank you for hosting the images of Hak5. Awesome. So I think we've got a good base understanding of what packet sniffing is, why we would do it, and what the anatomy of a packet really is. So not next week, because you're taking a break, you got to go move.
Into the house.
Moving from Virginia Beach to Richmond. But once you guys get settled in, you're going to come back here, show us
part 2.
Great, show us more in depth.
Packet.
Dissecting a packet, and then checking out some advanced techniques of packet sniffing. So stay tuned for that. Chris, thank you as always. Awesome segment, and we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we have some fun stuff going on with Kron and Synergy. Stay tuned. So now it's time for the LAN party. You guys have said a lot in the forums about how you'd like to play some open source games, so that's exactly what we're doing now. On October 18th, we're going to be playing Warso. It's basically like, it's an open source game based on the Quake 3 engine. It's kind of similar to Quake 3. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys will join us on October 18th at game.hak5.org. And of course, the LAN party is sponsored by Netflix. We want to thank them. With Netflix, you can rent over 90,000 titles online with free shipping both ways to your home. They have over 40 shipping centers, so almost all deliveries happen in just one business day. The Netflix plans start at $4.99, and as a member of Hak5, you can get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership. Check it out at www.netflix.com/hak5, and remember the www. It's very important. Okay, so before we head over to Shannon and Matt to check out the Synergy mod, I want to tell you guys about a creation from our very own community member, Tom B. He's developed a tool called Kron4 Windows that's exactly that. I mean, if you're used to the Unix environment, you know that Kron is a great way for scheduling tasks. And this will allow you to do just that in Windows without having to use the kind of archaic and not so featureful Windows @ command or task scheduler. So here you can get it at tombell.org, and I want to show you the really nifty cron tab that it has here based on XML. So you can see it's real easy to set up an XML file that has your schedule of how many minutes, hours, days of the month, lots of different ways to schedule, and it's real simple, just a matter of setting the arguments here in our program. So we can see we've got defrag C. Real simple, easy to use, great documentation, installs as a Windows service, and I highly recommend it. And if you've got more great software, if you're a software developer and a member of the Hak5 community, we'd love to hear from you guys, so hit us up on the forums. Now I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Shannon. I think she's playing some Half-Life 2.
Yeah, it's actually this Half-Life 2 mod called Synergy mod, and it basically lets you play any multiplayer Half-Life 2 game, either Half-Life 2, Episode 1, Episode 2, any 3 of those, with multiplayer. You can play up to 32 characters in the same server or on a local LAN, whatever you want. And so I think it would be pretty cool to have 32 Gary Freemans.
Gordon Freeman. But Gary, his close cousin, he
that did the mod.
Yeah, exactly. Gary's mod, Gary Freeman, Gary Gordon. Anyway, so yeah, what do we need to actually go ahead and play Synergy with each other?
There's only 3 things that you need, and I guess I should mention that this can only play on either Windows or Linux.
Okay.
So sorry guys, sorry Mac users. I know you're a Mac user. I'm sorry, dude.
I know.
You need Steam, first of all. You also need Source SDK base, and you need to have Half-Life 2. You need to actually buy the game.
Okay.
And you can buy it online. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You also need to have the same version as your friends who are playing the Synergy mod with you. So you can just go to synergymod.net and download the newest version. I definitely suggest that one. I have the beta right now, so most of my friends I probably couldn't play with because they all have the newest version.
So you're not even going to show up in their list?
I'll try to go to their server, and they're not even going to see me show up. I'm going to be like, where are you guys? I won't even be on there.
Okay.
I'll be on
so
a
we've got
completely
Darren
different
running
one.
around back here,
Yeah.
being a crazed maniac.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm actually playing Half-Life 2 right now. I'm in the middle of the game playing with Darren over here, Hak5 Darren, and Dog, one of my favorite characters.
We're actually in a part of Half-Life 2 that most people have only experienced playing single player.
So imagine looking around here with 32 different people playing the same game as you and going through Half-Life 2 in, what, maybe a couple of hours now?
Yeah, we're going to have to have a challenge. We're going to have a challenge to see how fast we can actually go ahead and complete, you know, each of the Half-Lives. And you guys can follow us on Twitter at Hak5, or you can follow us on the forums where we repost and let you guys know when we've got, you know, exciting things coming up with the community and things of that nature when we're actually going to be playing something. Also, we want you guys to always check out the forums, and also, did we say Synergy Mod?
Yes, synergymod.net.
Okay.
That's exactly where you can find it.
All right. So, wrapping up this episode of Hak5, guys, we have a couple things that we need to get out of the way. And one of those being
TourCon. We just recently went to TourCon and we spoke with tons of people. We got lots of interviews for you guys, and we're going to be showing those in the next couple of episodes. We're also going to DayCon this weekend in Dayton, Ohio. I know that Matt's a big fan of Ohio.
I'm a little fond of Ohio, being that it's my hometown, so definitely big ups on the Ohio.
So if you just happen to be at DayCon, definitely check us out, follow us at Twitter, and meet up with us. We love hanging out with viewers. It's tons of fun.
Also need to mention the community at forums.hak5.org or revision3.com/forums. Guys, we check it daily, and also, you know, we looking for your wallpapers. We're going to be working on getting a place that you guys can actually upload your wallpapers instead of posting them to the wiki. But we'll go ahead and get that information, so watch the forums at forums.hak5.org.
And every week we'll be happy to show off a new wallpaper up on our sets. We have 2 different sets, 2 different wallpapers, and we love to show them off. We also really enjoy it when you guys give us questions, give us comments at feedback@hak5.org. We can't express enough how much it means to us. We love your feedback, good or bad.
Exactly. And we also want to thank GoDaddy for sponsoring the show. As you guys know, web hosting from GoDaddy includes 99.9% uptime, 24/7 support, and free access to Hosting Connection, the place to install over 30 free applications, sure to help you get the most from your hosting plan and website. Plus, enter code HAK1040 when you check out and save an additional 10% off any order $40 or more. Some restrictions apply. See the website for details. Get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com.
And next week, we have some brand new segments for you. We're going to be talking to Robin Wood. We did that interview up at TourCon, so we'll be pulling him up. And we also have Open Filer, so you definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about FreeNAS and how great FreeNAS is. Well, I went out and I actually found FreeNAS on crack. Check that out.
And I think that's it.
We've got Open Filer, Robin Wood, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Much more.
So guys, as we've kind of neglected him this episode, Darren, why don't you go ahead and tell us to...
What? Trust your technologist? I'm on the corner, man. What am I doing over here?
It's very fun.
Fucking kicking off the show and I got nothing. Those of you who haven't seen the show, Hak5 is completely bullshit.
Off the hook.
Of the XMBC project. Actually, it's XBMC. Sorry.
All right, so what is Boxy?
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what you're here for. Is a port of XMB, mother